Star Wars geek girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.
Hello and welcome back to Star Wars Geek Girl. This week we're going to talk about Book of Boba Fett Chapter 4, and then also just today, a whole bunch of stuff about the new Lego game, Star Wars game, came out. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. But mostly Boba Fett, probably. We'll see where it goes. As usual, I'm here with Lizzie.
Hello.
Yes, so I guess we'll do first spoiler-free thoughts on Boba Fett this week.
I like the representation here. The not actual representation, don't think about that. I just like the job representation.
You like the chef. Oh wait, I can't.
Yes.
Spoiler.
It's fine. It's great. I think it's amazing, and everyone should watch it just because of that.
If you only watch one episode of the show, watch this one to make Lizzie happy.
Yes. I thought it was very good, very funny, very cool. We saw some cool stuff with more past stuff. That kind of explains a bit of, I don't know how to do spoiler-free stuff because I don't know what.
Provided some context for things we already know.
Yes, it kind of added in some pieces of the puzzle.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
Yes. And it was like it wasn't pieces of the puzzle that we needed in any way, but it was appreciated. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that's it.
Yeah, I also really like this episode. I think I love this episode a lot. I think episode 2 still right now holds favorite spot for me, but this one's very, very close. I liked trying to figure out how to do this, not spoiler. I like the emphasis on the relationship between Boba and Fennec and that dynamic and getting to see a lot more of that. That's really, I love that dynamic, and I especially loved it this episode. That was really fun.
Yes.
Yeah, those are my main things, I guess, that you didn't already say. Okay, now spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, go watch it and then come back. You've been warned.
Yes.
Are
they all gone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're gone.
Cool.
Bye-bye. Just kidding.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Chef droids. Just there were really quickly. There were chef droids. And I thought they were really cool. And especially because I was watching in subtitles, and sometimes subtitles are really, really funny, and they just point out the best things and they help you throughout the story sometimes, especially because whenever I watch something, I always need subtitles, and I know that a few people find it annoying, but if I don't have subtitles, then everyone kind of just sounds like an Animal Crossing villager to me, and I can't understand. So yeah, but the subtitles were amazing today because, just, I know this is like a huge jump, but Boba and Fennec are at Jabba's place to get his ship, and then all of a sudden they're in a kitchen, and I was like, oh, that's a cool kitchen, and then it said chef droid. What is that? Or and then I was like, oh, it's a chef droid, and then the next droid, the subtitles just says sous chef droid. I don't know, and I'm like, oh, it's a sous chef. They have everyone but the regular cooks, but I think they got it. I think they got it on their own. I liked the design of Chef Droid. He looks like Grievous He has like a bunch of knives and stuff. It's kind of horrifying to think about.
I think he was cutting vegetables. He's very efficient cutting them.
It looked like he was cutting like leeks because they were curved and they were green, but like a specific light green. I don't know, but he's space leek. But yes, he was very efficient. Seems like he's doing maybe like catering, so he has to just, because I know for catering it's very like just cut a bunch of everything and then throw in a pot and then it's done and then you give it to the guests. So it wasn't like line cooking where he's doing like a few simple like cuts and they have to be like pristine and perfect, but they're also serving like crime lords. So, I think as much as like, working at castles or something in Star Wars is like the highest to be and like, good for a cook in Star Wars, I think being a cook for a crime lord is like shows you that you're the best because you haven't died yet. Like,
that's the
like
point.
if you mess something up, you might just be killed. So whereas like if you worked with like rich people or something, they would probably just fire you. But these are crime lords, so those droids aren't dead yet unless they were like new ones, but like I don't know.
Must be pretty good.
Yeah, that's my little rant about the droids. I think they're cool. I would love to have some.
They'd be useful. Speaking of Star Wars food, I don't know why this made me think of it, but I've been playing the VR game Tales from Galaxy's Edge, and there are Ronto wraps. Like when you're in the cantina, there's like Ronto wraps laying around the plates, and I picked one up, and I was like, "Oh my god, a Ronto wrap!" And I held it up, looking at it, and then I ate it in the game. It was like a chomp sound, and disappeared. So now every time I go to that cantina, I run around and eat all the Ronto wraps.
Fake vegan. How dare you?
But yeah, that was exciting.
So you just chomped it?
Just in one bite.
Like against your will?
I just wanted to look at it and all of a sudden it was just like gone. There's like a chomp sound.
A Minecraft chomp sound.
Basically. Whoops.
Yes.
Yeah. Tales from Galaxy's Edge, by the way, great game. If you get the chance to try it ever, anyone, do it. It's really fun.
I'm sure my dad would probably want to.
You get to go to Batuu and see porgs and shoot the Guavian Death Gang. And also, you get to be a Jedi and throw your lightsaber, which was cool. That's like a separate. It's a whole thing.
Disney's doing a thing right now with the lightsabers. They have like, when you make a lightsaber, you get to choose the pieces. Right now, they have the limited like edition Loth Cat carving.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Core. And I thought it was really cool. And I was like, wow, I wish that was available when I was down there. That would have been cool.
They did it right after you left.
No money. Yep. No money. None. Zero. But yeah, so it looks really cool. That's some Star Wars news that is definitely important for everyone to hear.
Of course.
I'm doing everyone a service right now. But yeah, okay. Going back to Boba and to the beginning of Boba. What happened in the beginning of Boba? My brain's buffering.
Oh, at the beginning.
The beginning.
How did it start? Let's see what Wikipedia has to say.
Well, I guess he's back in the bacta tank. So he's having these dreams again, which I still really like how they like there's different ways that people show like past stuff. And I really like how they did it with this, especially because like he's like healing. He's trying to physically heal himself, but there's so much trauma and things to heal on the inside, that he's like reflecting back on his life in like those different parts,
Right.
which I think is really cool. So it goes all the way back. He's with a bantha, and
Yeah.
he's so kind to all animals.
Yeah, I think because I know one thing people have been saying about Boba Fett about the series is they're saying that Boba Fett is too soft, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just that he's being kind to animals and to people that are just like living their lives.
Yeah.
Like he's not gonna kick someone when they're down or pick on a little guy or someone who hasn't done anything or can't fight back.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
mean,
it's a really great quality of his character, especially with how he gets along so well with animals.
He's just a good person. Like that's just it. He's like, even though he's a crime lord, not everyone's perfect, but he's, especially since being with the Tusken Raiders, like it's really changed his perspective. I don't know. Would you say it's changed his perspective? Because he seemed like a pretty loyal-ish man even before, even though he was a bounty hunter, but he would like team up with people and he wouldn't really backstab them.
I think the thing with the bounty hunter or with the Tuskens, I think the change in perspective was less like turning, like he was, like you said, he was never just like a homicidal like maniac. But I think the change is now he sees the value of having like a community and a family and making things better for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think, not that I would call him selfish, but he was a little more self-serving before, when he was just like a bounty hunter, like in the One From a Certain Point of View story from Empire Strikes Back. He like purposely does stuff to get the other bounty hunters to steer them away so he can get Han.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and now like we see him when he talks to Fennec, he says like, I'm tired of stupid crime lords getting people like us killed all the time, and he's showing a camaraderie with other bounty hunters, which he didn't have as much before. I think he still had a little bit, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I especially like that he like had a community with this, like he was family with the Tusken Raiders. And I don't know, we haven't seen since, I don't remember what episode, but this episode we didn't see any flashbacks with him looking out the window, the Camino window at Django leaving. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But I mean, with stuff like that, it's like, trying to put this in a way that's not as trauma sounding. I guess so. With me and having a biological dad, I still get things where I'm like, man, it's like, it's a weird feeling to think about, and like it feels like those flashbacks that Boba has, right? But then you kind of just, hopefully Boba doesn't really care, even though I'm sure he loved his father, but like, and then even like the Rebels family, oh, sorry, my brain's going everywhere, but like have like in the Rebels family, like they don't care what their past family was, like they care, but they're with this family now. And that's their family. Like again, just Star Wars going again, being like, hey, your family doesn't have to be by blood. Your community doesn't have to like just be your family. Which I think is super cool and still super great of Star Wars. So I like it so much. I just like the family aspects of Star Wars because I'm like, yes, that's really cool. That's great. Yes. So I really like to see Boba wanting to create another community, and not just because like he wants to like have war and like this and that. Like he genuinely wants to like make friends and like, well, not friends, but like, have acquaintances, have people to rely on, and he can they can rely on him and he can rely on, and just stuff like that. I think it's really cool. And I like the campfire scene with him and Fennec. I know there was a lot, but I think the one that you were specifically saying, where he is asking Fennec to join him, like even though her debt was paid to him already, he asks, for loyalty, and Fennec's like, no, that makes you soft and weak. But like, loyalty doesn't really do that, especially when you have, like, if you have loyalty and you have it throughout all of your peers, that just makes you way stronger. Like, rather than all these crime lords that have a bunch of people that just betray them constantly. So I think this might be my favorite episode so far. I also just like Boba interacting with a bunch of animals and just taking care of them. I think that's really cool. And yeah, that's my rant. So
yeah, everything you said. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, I think, and kind of going on the Boba Fennec stuff you were talking about, I think one thing I also liked was how this recontextualized the relationship a little bit from what we saw in Mandalorian, because in the Mandalorian, Fennec was like, she was like, Boba rescued me, so like I owe him, and didn't go into it much more than that. And I know some people like the life death thing, and I've never liked that. Like, I know people were upset because that was the original story for Han and Chewie, and then people were upset when they changed it in Solo. To me, that's so sad that Chewie would be essentially a slave to Han, and that they weren't really friends, that you just owed him. That just makes me really sad, and it's not the kind of relationship I like to have with characters that I like. So I think this episode, recontextualizing this of like, she did feel a debt to him because he saved her. She paid it back and then was like, we're a good team. I like you. Let's stick around. I'm gonna stick around, And I like that change. I think it fits better for their characters, and I think it makes their relationship a lot better than like she's basically a servant, and a little more of like a little more equal.
More equal, more human.
More human. And I know when that episode of Mandalorian came out, some people were little like, oh, you're making like the Asian woman like a slave to a man. And I think changing that was a good way to go. And I like
also Asian.
Yeah, I think it's a different, that's what people were saying. I don't
Yeah.
I think it's
I get it. Yeah.
Thing with women compared, with
fair. Because I was like, I still find it funny that a lot of people still think that the clones are white. I'm like, they're clones of Jango. But anyway, yes, I did think it would be weird to have like that whole like, yeah, Fennec is like his servant, like she's indebted to him. So it's just, I don't know, it's just nicer in general for a story if you actually make them friends. Like, to me, it's more interesting and less like gross. It doesn't feel like, it feels a bit gross when you're just like, all right, well, I'm going to follow you to the end of the earth because now I have to.
Right. And it makes it easier to like Boba too, because it's like, that's great, Boba, you're like helping people now, but like Fennec or a bone man. So it's nice that that it's like a real friendship, and we saw a lot of that. Not that I didn't think they were friends before, but I think like stating it clearly in this episode was really good.
Yes. I did like to see how, he finds her, because, oh my God. So he's just wandering the desert. He's kind of just doing his thing. And then we hear like explosions, kind of, not really explosions, but then like the big light in the air. Yeah. And then, I was like, is that one scene? And then you just hear the Mandalorian song, like just a little bit. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
There it is.
I had literally, because I watched it Wednesday when it came out, and I literally just watched that episode with a friend on Monday. So it was very fresh in my mind. Which just by accident. Obviously, I didn't know they were going to do this episode, but I was like, whoa, I just watched this. And they had a little Mandalorian theme.
I thought it was really funny that they just like they just added his little sound, his music cue.
You know who we didn't see though is Toro Calican. We didn't see Toro Calican.
Yeah.
Big sense.
But we did hear Mando's cue.
Yeah.
Which like it, I don't know why, but I know it was probably to be like a like I couldn't tell if it was for like the purposes of like shocking you, or like I'm sure it was, but like I guess more so to be like, look, it's so cool, it's the Mandalorian. I just laughed, not like it was bad or anything, but I was like, oh, there's the Mandalorian, and you just know because of his little music cue, even if it's not in the actual scene. But so I thought it was kind of fun. And then he sees her dead, and I do find it funny how it did take him a while to get over there, because
that's what I was just about to say, because like that someone's at my window. Okay. Because I just watched that episode, and from the first time that they used the little flash things to Fennec being left there is a long time, because like Mando, if you remember, Mando like has to walk and go get the dewback and come back, and it's like a whole thing. Like it's not the longest time, but it takes a while for them to fight her and everything. So it's just funny that Boba was there for the start of it, and go on this little bantha and then get there to like after.
I was just like, why did it take him so long?
It's just a bantha. They're not very fast. They're trying their best. But yeah, it's funny, and I did like how they used pretty much the exact shot of that they did the very end of that episode of Mando when you saw his feet walking up, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's Boba Fett!" No, it's not. Who is it?
Whose feet is that?
Right, they used basically that exact shot, and then just like panned, because obviously we know it's Boba now, but
yes,
they took her to the cyberpunk parlor.
That was cool. Yes. Oh, yeah, that was really cool, because I saw that and I was like, oh, I don't know why in my head I was like, oh yeah, because she's like also a cyborg. She could be like cyborg mom to the cyborg teenagers. But yeah, because like it's a whole thing. It looks like this really cool, like old school, like tattoo parlor place thingy.
But they're roboting themselves.
Yes, it wasn't tattooing, it was roboting.
Well, it's where I assume the connection is that it's where those kids from last episode and the colorful bikes, like where they had their stuff done and everything. It was a cool little thing in common between the two timelines. And I was like, when they finished, I like how they played like techno music too. It reminded me of like the first season, maybe season 2 in the movie of the Clone Wars, where they never did in the later seasons really, but they would sometimes play like techno music during fight scenes, and like when you go back and rewatch Clone Wars, like, oh yeah, they used to do that. Is what the music reminded me of.
Yeah, I really I just like the teenagers like style.
They're very Gen Z,
really cool.
Sure.
Yeah. Their hair is also really cool, but also so throughout my week and being garde manger class, I have been making a lot of I made a lot of sausages and stuff, but I recently made turkey frankfurters. They're like supposed to be like just actual like hot dog meat. So like I made those, and now we're gonna be serving them at an event tomorrow. This is my my final. I have a final. It's a practical, which means I just have to serve food, and then chef gives me a grade for it, and then I have to take an actual test afterwards. It was fun. Yeah, thank you. But I've been making a lot of mustards to go with that. I wish I could make ketchup, but I guess the chef wants like so many mustards. I made like 3 types of mustards yesterday. And his hair was yellow, and I was like, oh, that looks like mustard. I was just like, it's like a pretty yellow though. Because I made 3 different types of mustards. One was like really light, one was like tannish because it had so much sugar in it that it caramelized, and then I like put cream in it, and it's really good. All the mustards are really good. The beer mustard it hurts. Like I was cooking the mustard, like, because you're supposed to take all these spices, sugar, and dry mustard, and then you like have it in a bowl, and then you put it. Do you know what a double boiler is?
What?
A double boiler.
I assume you can boil 2 things on it.
Yes, very close. It's a pot with water, and you boil it, right? But you like turn it down a little, so it's like semi-simmering, a little like in between the simmer and like a boil. Then you put your metal bowl on top of it, and you whisk whatever's like you whisk. You start whisking whatever in your bowl. They do it for like chocolates and stuff, melting chocolates. But I had to do that for the mustards, and it burnt my eyes so bad. Like, you've tasted mustard, right? It's like not spicy, but it kind of hot-ish. It's got the like, if you had Dijon mustard, it's a lot stronger. It's like that times 3, and it felt like my eyes were eating the mustard. It hurts so bad. But anyway, yeah, his hair reminded me of mustard. Really cool though. Really cool colored hair. But yeah, she's sorry. What's her name? Fennec. She's dying. And he's like, hey, I have money and my friend is dying. Will you please like help her? And before he takes out the money, the kid, I don't want to call him a kid, he's probably older than me, but like the Gen Z mustard man was like, we don't appointments only, old man, which is a very like, it felt, I don't know if it's because like the show is not written by teenagers, but it felt like a very like boomer way of writing a teenager. Like, I don't know. That's not supposed to be offensive at all. It was just like, it feels like how a lot of older people view teenagers as being like, yeah, we don't care about you, old man. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. Just that like conversation for a second. Because they're supposed to be like punks and stuff, but it's also funny to see because like they don't know that it's Boba Fett. The other teenagers did, but I don't know if like everyone knows he's Boba Fett because Fennec later is like, yeah, everyone thinks Boba Fett is dead. So I just thought it was really funny to think about just the whole situation. But then he fixes Fennec up, and she has cyborg stomach.
Yeah, and Mo was like, are you gonna close that up? And he's like, I'm gonna hide all this beautiful machinery. So it was like, okay, I can't do anything about it, so
yeah. I think, does she eventually close it or no? I don't remember.
I think Boba meant cover it with like some kind of skin or like a synth skin, like they put on Anakin's arm. I think that's what Boba meant. But she does put like her little Velcro flap over it.
Yeah, I couldn't remember in Mandalorian if when she showed it, it was like you saw the machinery, or if like she put like a plate on it or something.
No, she had you saw the machinery. She had a her little Velcro and she opened it and there was
Got it.
If I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. But yes, now she's half cyborg. But she's alive, so yay. And then she's like, fine, I'm indebted to you. And then we got into that whole conversation about that stuff. But he's just, and Boba's so kind to Banthas. It's so cool. And just like to animals in general. But I don't remember what came first, but I guess when Boba went, he's been like looking at the palace for a while and being like, I wonder how I can get in. But now he has Fennec that helps him get in. And that's where we get the chef, the chef droids, and he kills them. And I was so sad because they're not crime lords. They're just trying to cook, and you're messing them up with cooking. Well, you're messing up their cooking. Like maybe they're on a schedule. So he killed them. And then there was a rabbit droid.
I think I'm pretty sure it's the first time we've seen one of those droids in live action. They're usually Clone Wars. And I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. It's a little rat catcher. And then Boba was chasing around and Fennec was just kind of watching as Boba's running in circles chasing the little droid. And I was like, this is the cutest thing ever.
He catches him, and the rabbit droid is so scared.
He turns himself off. He hits this little power button. It's so funny. Especially because like Boba could have just turned it on if he was like gonna, I assume the droid thought he was gonna interrogate him or whatever. But so Boba could have just turned it on, but he didn't. He was like, all right. This is done.
He was so scared. He was like, again, here's when the subtitles just get amazing. But it just said droid sobbing. I was like, oh no.
So cute.
And then he like throws him in the trash. But then like later you see in the later scenes when Boba Fett is ruling, the rabbit droid is out and about. So he's okay.
They're besties now.
Yes. But then Boba goes in, they fight a bunch of people, and like Fennec and Boba are very, very good at working together, and it's really cool. And then they take away the slave one, and it's cool because now he has the slave one.
They take the slave one, they kill those speed bikers that killed the Tuskens. I do want to say Fennec said something interesting. She said speed bikers took out a gang of Tuskens. Like, that's unlikely. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, does that mean something? Is it just like a line? Or like
it shouldn't be.
Was it the Pikes?
Like, it seems like so far they've been leading it up to be the Pikes, or at least Boba really thinks it is, which is
I mean, Boba seems to still think it was the speed bikers. He doesn't say otherwise. He has issues with the Pikes for other reasons because they're selling spice on Tatooine.
Oh, I guess so. I mean,
I was like, because I didn't really have a reason to doubt that it was the speed bikers that killed the Tuskens. I just like that's what they told us, and like it made sense because Boba, beat up a bunch of them, so I assumed it was. Then Fennec said that, and I was like, maybe you're on to something.
I don't know. I think my dad, when we've talked about it on the other podcast, I think my dad thinks it's the Pikes. It seems like it's probably the Pikes.
They haven't introduced other players who it could be, so
yeah. So it's, I don't know. It's especially because like Boba's so set on like like wrecking the Pikes. And yeah, I mean the whole meeting the the whole meeting he has with all the other like crime families. He's like, hey, so I'm the new ruler, and also I'm gonna go wreck the Pikes. Does anyone want to help? And some of the people are like, no, we do, like we like to sell spice on our side of the, of the territory because it brings a lot of money, blah blah blah. So Boba's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go fight the Pikes, but if they come up to you about anything, you're gonna stay neutral. So I don't know. This man has a vendetta against Pikes. Yeah. It's much like Anakin having a vendetta against Tusken Raiders.
See, the thing is that Boba's the Pikes did kill Tuskens, the whole train thing. So we already know it's like from that. And then we know that Boba is concerned about the spice trade. He's apparently not a fan of spice. He's very concerned about the spice trade here. So that's why I wasn't thinking like that's the vendetta as much. Like that seems like something he thinks is taken care of. If it is or not, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. I'm a simple podcaster trying to make my way through. Yeah. But then there's another scene. I think the last scene we haven't really talked about. It's not the last scene, but the other scene. And it's, I don't know. I know his name. I don't know how to say it, but the Wookiee in the show.
Black Chrysanthemum.
Black Chrysanthemum.
Black K. Apparently they call him that in the comics.
Black K. He is at the bar, the fancy bar thing with the Twi'lek lady. I don't know if I like her. I mean, she's cool, but I don't know if I trust her.
I don't trust pretty much anyone in this show.
That's
completely clear.
I mean, I think she's
Crime
cool.
Lord show.
Yeah. And he's looking at the Trandoshians, and at first I was super confused, and I was like, why is he looking over there so intense? Why is he getting so mad? What's going on? And then he started beating them up, and it clicked, and I was like, oh. I kind of forget that one, the Trandoshians would hunt Wookiees in the first place. And if that's not the reason, I'm sure it's something to do with him fighting and probably having to fight and blah 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 blah.
I assume the reason is the Trandoshan and Wookiees just don't get along at all.
Yeah.
Which is why I know some people are saying oh, Boba Fett could put together a team with him and Black K and Bosk. I'm like, those two aren't gonna. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, that one won't work. Maybe other ones, but
he Cat Bane.
Yeah. With his marvelous hat. So yeah, that's when it clicked, and I was like, oh, I'm dumb. But the Twi'lek lady, she goes up and is like, hey, you don't want to do that. If you don't do it, then I'll wipe the debt you have. It'll be cool, right? Yeah, cool. And then he rips the guy's arm off. Which was a lot. And then he pays the debt. He goes outside, and Boba does a thing where he's like, hey, can I adopt you real quick? So now he has, during the whole meeting about the Pikes and stuff, he is there for moral support. So yeah. And then we see the Rancor just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yes. Trying to think if we missed anything. What's a scurrier? Is it the frog things? I assume that's what it is, because they scurried. and I didn't like them scurrying. They were screaming. I did not enjoy that. I want to like make a recipe or so, because they keep bringing up the black melon, and like there's a name for it. If there wasn't a name for it, I like probably not that I wouldn't be interested in making a recipe with it of it, but now it has a name. Like, because in The Mandalorian, did it have the name in The Mandalorian? I don't think it did.
I don't think so. If it did, I didn't know it until now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think those are kind of cool.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing leading to what might happen next in this episode was at the end. When Fennec, they're talking about hiring some people. And Fennec said, we can hire muscle if you know where to look. And they play a little Mandalorian song, and then the episode ends.
Another like, little Mandalorian song.
Mando's coming back.
Which I think is so funny because, like, of course, like, why wouldn't the first thing, like, that you, like, if you want muscle, why isn't it the first thing that one other Mandalorian you worked with, like, semi recently?
I mean, if I'm thinking muscle, I'm thinking you got that Wookiee.
Yeah.
But Mando,
well,
to see.
And he has a dark saber. Well, not that like
he doesn't want it though. He's not gonna be using it.
He doesn't, but he has it.
I don't know if he's gonna.
What's he gonna do? Throw it away?
I feel like he would, though.
Just throw it in the trash.
I think he really, really doesn't want it. Whatever. I'm excited to see what's going on with Mando after the season 2 finale of the series. I haven't seen him in so long. I miss him.
Yeah, and he's like he doesn't have a kid anymore to babysit, so like he's free.
I saw someone drew he's an empty nester. I saw someone drew Boba and Fennec going to ask him for help, and he's just laying on the floor crying. Like, maybe we'll ask Cad Bane.
Oh.
I think Cad Bane would be an interesting one to bring, because Fennec probably doesn't like him that much. Boba, mixed feelings.
Yeah. I mean, he's just cool though. And we haven't seen him like live action. So, that'd be cool.
Manifesting Mr. Bane.
Yes.
Or what if he's working for the Pikes? That would be something.
I feel like he would.
I'm trying to think. But yeah, looks like they're really setting up Mando to come. Mr. Din Djarin. We'll see how emotionally fragile he is after losing Grogu.
He's like at the palace, and he's looking at like the kids, the like robot kids. Boba's like, yeah, I adopted them, and Mando's like, I once adopted.
I adopted someone once.
I just hope, like, it's not gonna happen, but I just wish that every time someone would say something, he'd be like, I once had a kid. Or like they'd be like, do you want some soup? Grogu used to love soup. Just anything like that.
That would be really funny.
But yeah, I think that would be cool to see. And if Mandalore, like, Bo was like, so what'd you do with sorry, I was gonna say Master Sword. What'd you do with the Darksaber? And
he snuck it in Bo-Katan's
like,
backpack and then ran away.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, I think that this episode is really good. It might be my favorite so far. I still like want more of like what happened to the Tusken Raiders, but I'm guessing we're gonna get there, but I don't know.
Mando. I'm just excited for Mando. It's gonna be like, and maybe he'll bring friends, but he doesn't really have any more friends.
Yeah.
Except like Cara Dune, but I don't think she'll be here.
True.
Maybe Grief Karga.
I hope not.
We'll hang out. Quill's dead. IG-11's dead. Bo-Katan's not gonna be doing bounty hunting stuff. Poor Mando. He doesn't even know his ship.
That's true. I wonder what he's doing. He just has like an Imperial ship right now.
Just laying on the floor crying.
Yeah.
Oh well, we're gonna see him, and I'm excited. Probably.
Hopefully. I mean, it seems like it's leading up to that, so hopefully.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't know what else to say about the episode. We can talk about Lego Star Wars a little bit.
Yes.
The trailer came out. Did you watch the trailer?
I did not.
Yeah. That's okay. It looks gorgeous. Like, obviously, like the Lego guys are Legos, but like the background, the stuff that's not Lego looks like AAA realistic. It's crazy. And then we got a release date. I'm pretty sure this is like the third or fourth release date, but hopefully this one will stick since we have a gameplay trailer now. April 5th. Is when this game will come out. Lots of different types of gameplay: lightsaber fights, shooting, flying ships, riding, little dudes. There's going to be perhaps like a character collection with Mando and Baby Yoda. There's a picture of Hunter, Mr. Hunter, as well. So looks like Bad Batch. I just want Rebels and Ahsoka. Really? That's all I want.
Oh, I did a bad thing. So Dad, if you're listening, I had enough money in the actual game itself. So I didn't spend any money, but on Fortnite, I haven't played Fortnite in a while. And then while I was at Disney, I was just at work. I was doing my thing. I was grilling some fish, really busy time. And all I hear in the kitchen is, anyone here play Fortnite? And it was one of my chefs. And I was like, I have. And he was like, okay, hold on, I'm coming over. And like came in the line. It was really busy, but it was fine. And he was like, look, me and my son. And he was like showing me pictures. And he was like, me and my son bought this. And it was like the Boba Fett, like new, like this show Boba Fett like outfit. And I was like, that does look really cool. So then I went to my dorm apartment thing and I looked at my account and it had money in it already. Like it had V-Bucks from playing and stuff. And I was like, ooh. And like it was just enough too. So I went and I bought it and it got me, I got like the stick, I got him, I got the Slave 1 and a move too. And now I can make Boba Fett do BTS dances and stuff. So yeah, that's my yeah. I think it's very important information that everyone needs to know. And I would love to show everyone I would love to show everyone just Boba dancing to all these TikTok songs. They're the worst, but they're amazing. And that's it. That's all. Yeah, continue. Lego Star Wars.
Okay. The only other thing I was gonna say about Lego Star Wars, I'm very excited for the game because I love playing the old ones. The old Complete Saga when I was a kid, and now it's like new one.
You had it on the Wii? It was only on the Wii, right? Or
no, I had it on the Xbox.
Oh.
It was also on the DS and the PlayStation.
I didn't know it was on the DS. I didn't know it was on PlayStation or Xbox, probably because I didn't know Xbox or PlayStation existed. Like had one because my dad had one, but I didn't know what it was called.
No,
I just knew that
I believe Lego Star Wars, and this one is too, will be all platforms, all major gaming platforms.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I want to say is, so they have the more recent Lego games have been speaking, where if you play the older ones, they just went, and so they have speaking, but apparently this game will have a mumble mode that you can turn on, and will make them basically do the
mumble. What I think people sound like when I don't have subtitles on.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, yes. If you want to play it like they play the old games, they have that mode ready for you. Let's play it. I'm very excited for the game.
Are you one of those people that like you play with 2 players, but you won't actually let us play? Like how Axel would just like jump off of buildings and die, and we would never be able to get through the next level?
No, I was always trying to get to the next level. Yeah, and Sappy would be.
Got it.
It's a little sibling thing, like, I want to get the coins. I want to go over here. Especially because the old one didn't have split screen, like Clone Wars Lego did.
Yeah, no, it didn't.
This one I assume will also have split screen. So we couldn't like go do our own thing. So it was always like, Sappy, come on.
It was also difficult to play with my dad because my dad would also just be like, wait, there's coins over here. Wait, hold on, we need to get 100% completion. But yes, that's good. Yeah, sounds fun.
So yeah, Lego Star Wars. I think that's the only other. Let me look up StarWars.com and see if there's anything else. But I think that's about covers it. I don't know if this is officially announced or not. Someone said Obi-Wan Kenobi looks like it'll be coming out May the 4th. And I think the reason they said this is because Moon Knight, the Marvel series, the finale would be on May the 4th because it's 6 episodes every week. But they here I was gonna say. Oh, but they're gonna do 2 episodes to start Moon Knight on the first day, like they did with Hawkeye, so that it won't end on May the 4th, and that's when Obi-Wan Kenobi is gonna start. Is my understanding of it.
Nice. I'm pretty sure one of the actors that was supposed to be, or I guess is, or maybe was supposed to be, I don't know, haven't watched it. Not out. Is it out? Wait, I don't know, but one of the actors passed away recently, so
yeah, and there's he's in a skiing accident, which is very sad.
Very. But yeah, I mean, a lot of crazy stuff going on. Yeah,
I think that's only Star Wars big things. If you are in the market for a VR headset, get an Oculus Quest. It's like the Switch Lite to the Switch, but VR, and play Vader Immortal. So it's really cool. And Tales from Galaxy's Edge, because it's really, really cool.
Yes.
And yeah, that's my PSA.
Got it. Cool. So I think that is a podcast.
That is a podcast. Plugs. I can't find the tab. Okay, there it is. For Star Wars Geek Girl, go to the Facebook page, which is Star Wars Geek Girl, or look us up on Twitter and Instagram at SW Geek Girl and StarWarsGeekGirl.com. There's a poll every month. This month, vote for which Star Wars thing you're most excited for 2022. Then I also do book reviews on Mondays. I'm reading Canto Bight right now. So you have that to look forward to on Monday.
I thought that was a good book.
Did you read it or you heard?
My fathiers told me that I had to sit down and listen to one of them, which was, I believe, like these triplets.
I haven't read that one yet.
Yes, but yes.
I will read that and I'll review on Monday, and then quizzes on Wednesdays. The quiz from yesterday that I made was about Mandalorian knowledge and how much you know about Mandalorians. And then blog articles on Fridays. I'm doing a series talking about 5 things I love from each Star Wars movie. This Friday will be The Last Jedi.
Nice.
That's all I have.
For the Rouge Rebels, find us at theroguerebels.com. Instagram and TikTok is at the Rogue Rebels. Twitch at Rogue Rebels. Podcast is wherever you can find the Star Wars Geek Girl podcast. Facebook page is the Rogue Rebels, and Twitter at Rogue Rebels Fam. And we recently did a podcast about episode 3, but I was there for 30 minutes because I had to go to work.
Ouch.
Yes, but it's okay. Good episode.
Now we can finish. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzy.
Thank you for listening to Star Wars Geek Girl. May the force be with you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Star Wars Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.